Trevin Hayes here with Coach Griffith for about our 6th, 7th week. Coming on to do our weekly picks. Coach, first of all, last week you guys played Casey County.
We did.
Give us a little rundown about that game.
Well, you know, it was, of course, Casey is probably one of the best win teams in state of Kentucky. And I'm being truthful. If you really look at their margin, I think it's like over 8 games, it's 50 points. So when you figure that up, they're 7 points is what they've been averaging and beat by. And I was really worried. And of course, you know, it's you never know your kids will respond, especially with your own football team. And both teams are trying to play in the playoffs. You know, we beat them last year to make the playoffs, and they're a good football team. And Stonebreaker's done a really good job. I told him after the game, he does a good job at getting the most out of his kids. And but anyway, we started off and our kids just came to play, and it was almost like Coach Marcus said. I didn't watch Space Jam, but I guess there's some space juice or something out there. When it started raining, our kids turned it on, and it rained. And I was telling you just a minute ago, I think our fullback position between Dustin Butler and Joshua Dan Crump, they carried the ball 34 times, and it was kind of a football game I liked to be in. You know, I never felt worried because we were able to get 3 or 4 yards every play, and our defense was playing good. So if you can keep the ball away from them, and we were running it, and your defense is playing and keeping them off the field, I felt good about it. And you know, I always tell our kids, man, sometimes we get, because we do have a Clark Rex Road and a Jordan Bradley and a Dustin Butler who could really take the house anytime. But we get, even as coaches sometimes, you know, we'll run a play and we think, man, it should get more than 10 yards or more than 5 yards. And we're griping about 5 yards. And the other night, I told him, I said, guys, if you'll just buy into 3 yards, it'll eventually, 3 yards will turn into 10, and 10 will turn into, and that's what happened in the game. I mean, Dustin Butler and Josh Van Crump we handed the ball off to them 34 times, and at the end of the game, man, it started turning into, the 3 and 4 yard gains turned into 10, 20, and Dustin broke off a 4 yard run to really seal the game. The other thing that happened was I was really proud of our kids is Casey had a chance to score with maybe 4 minutes to go in the game. And, you know, they could have onside kicked in the mud. Anything could happen. And they drove down, and we had them on the 1 yard line, 1st and goal on the 1 yard line. And they didn't get in. We stopped them four plays in a row and took the game and handed the ball back to the fullback position and sealed the deal. So it was a good win for us. It's you know, we talk about in our program hitting those rungs of that ladder that we're climbing to get there. And you know, that put us back at 400, and we play again tonight to try and get to 1 over 500. I mean, to put us back to 500, 4-4. But we play tonight to try and get a game over it and finish the season out with the 3 wins. And you know, then we'll play Glasgow first round playoff. But it was a big victory. It was a big win for us. It was a great atmosphere, and I'm proud of our guys.
Speaking, well, I just want to throw this in there, just so I can give you. I told you. Mm-hmm. I told you last week, if it rains, it's going to be bad.
You did.
I've been high on your running backs all year. And I think that I got a guy, Sean Gerton is a KHSAA official. We are talking about high school football here in Western Kentucky, Sean. But your running backs are, you know, nobody really thinks of Hart County High School having, you know, the caliber of running backs that you have. And you know, I try to promote them as much as I can, but now it's starting to be, you know, they're self-promoted.
Yeah, and the good thing is that here's the thing. Other than Dustin Butler, who listen, if you're out there listening, if you need a kid in the NIL level or something like that, this kid he'll run through a wall for you. Okay, but other than him, they all come back, and you know they're back for 2 more years, so that's a good thing. But it was good to see our kids and even our up front. And I told you, and I guess I'm bragging a little bit, but it was nice to literally line up and run the same play 27 to 34 times and watch our linemen pretty much say, this is what we're going to do. And everybody bought into it. And it was you've been there. It was a fun game to coach. And, you know, because I'm going to say this, you know, everybody said, well, if it rains, you know, Casey had his advantage. Well, I mean, it took Jordan and Clark out of the game in a sense for us too, in a sense, because they're not downhill type runners. We got to get them to the edge or run some vertical, you know, they run horizontal, and so it kind of takes their speed and negates their speed. But I'll say this, man, that quarterback that Casey has, he's the real deal. It's the same for him. The harder it rained, the better he threw the dang on football. So,
and Coach, you mentioned that if things work out, you guys get a few more wins, that you'll play Glasgow in the first round of the playoffs. Just want to send a shout out to the Glasgow team, and Hunter Scott had a season-ending injury last Friday night. He broke his leg. I'm not going to say that will ruin Glasgow's season, but it will definitely make things harder because you can't replace a Hunter Scott. Friday night I actually went to the game and watched him. He makes plays that other people can't make. But on the good side, Glasgow they've still got 3 or 4 running backs on the sideline that they don't get to play. So I think the hands will be forced for some of those kids to come in and step up. And, Kieran Stockton is so big and strong. But Friday night he broke loose on Taylor County and he showed his speed. And I think that's something I've said it. Me and Joey are friends. That's Kieran's uncle, who he lives with. But, I'm not a fan of if a kid has speed, don't run him between tackles the whole night. That kid's got enough speed to where he can make somebody miss on the outside and he can break a 50, 60-yard run. Yep. And then you still got Jay Long. You've got Phillips.
I was going to say Phillips, yeah.
They can just come at you in so many different ways, but they're going to really have to adjust with Hunter Scott not playing, and then, of course, John Michael Myers, who, congratulations to him on getting the regional athletic director, 4th region player of the year, wow. Athlete of the year. A big hats off to him, and he's playing with the cast on his left, I think it's his left arm. But he was still, the first quarter, the first 6 plays, it was tackle by Carter, tackle by Carter.
You say that, and I've always said this from the time, and we have to play them, so I can tell you this, and I told you after we played them, when John Michael Carter was at quarterback, they were so dynamic in so many ways they could do stuff. And here's the thing, you can't replace a Hunter Scott, but the good thing for Glasgow is they have a lot of seniors, they have a lot of senior leadership, and they have some talent sitting on the sideline. They do. They always will and always do. And so, there'll be kids step up. And I still believe that they're going to make a deep run. I thought they were a top 3 teams before this season started, and I still think they are. And the reason why is because they do play good defense. But you're right. I watched that film, and I want to say John Michael Carter probably had, if he didn't have 15 tackles, I don't know. And that, to me, he's as good as he is on offense. He's even more important to them on defense. If he couldn't play defense, I think it would affect them more than him not playing offense. So I hate it for Hunter Scott. I do, because he's had a good career, and I hate that he's a senior. But that's why we all play, and it's a shame. It is
just a very unfortunate thing. Taylor at Adair.
I'm gonna go with Taylor, but hey, listen, Adair expects to win, and that means a lot, okay? But I've got to say this. I told you this, and I'm giving shout out to these 2 kids, man. And there's more to the Taylor team than these 2 kids, but one's a sophomore and one's a freshman. And the freshman, man, those 2 Smith kids, they make Taylor go, and they're young and they're talented. But Adair's big and physical, and it's not going to surprise me one bit if Adair's not sitting right there trying to win the game at the end of the game. So, but I'm going to go
with Adair just because I'm playing in a 2-man golf tournament with Mike Sneed from Columbia this weekend. So we're going to go Russell County at Allen County with me, no question.
Yep, Allen County.
Fairdale at Bardstown.
You know what? Everybody has Bardstown picked 1 or 2 in 3A. I'm telling you, man, they're having a hard time stopping people. I think Fairdale beats them. I really do.
I'm going to go with Bardstown.
I don't blame you.
I'm going to go with Bardstown. Fort Knox and Bethlehem. Christian County against Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
Making you a believer, Coach.
You are.
Making you a believer.
I picked against them last week, and I got beat.
Glasgow at Casey.
Glasgow.
Jackson County at Caverna.
You know what? I'm going with Caverna.
I'm going with Caverna, too.
I'm going with Caverna.
And, I actually we were going to practice on Tuesday, and some of the varsity guys were getting themselves ready to go to practice, and they actually took notice of our kids that came over, and they asked what grade another one of our kids was in, and he told him the 8th grade, and he said he told one of his teammates on the varsity. He said, "Oh my God, do you see what all we're getting next year?"
That's good.
So that meant a lot to me for even the upperclassmen to see the caliber of athletes that's moving up to the varsity level.
Right.
North at Central.
Oh man, I don't normally pick against Central, but I just think North's got too much.
North.
Central's got some injuries. North Hardin's the best team in that district.
Monroe at Edmondson.
Monroe at Edmondson. Monroe.
LaRue at E-Town.
Hey, listen. Shout out to my boy Josh Jaggers. I'm picking you, man. Let's go. You and Mace Arnett. You got it. LaRue over E-Town.
LaRue. I'll go with LaRue. We did a lot of stuff for LaRue a few years ago. Covered a majority of their games, so
Right.
we're gonna roll with LaRue in this game.
I just think LaRue's gonna line up and run the ball, and it's gonna be a good game.
Warren East at Franklin Simpson.
Man, listen, I picked against Warren East last week. Warren East. I'm going Warren East.
Campbellsville at Holy Cross.
Ooh.
I'm going with Holy Cross.
Holy Cross probably beat them, but Dale, go give it to him, man. You know what? No, give me Campbellsville. I like that quarterback, man. And Holy Cross is down. They're not what they normally are. I think Campbellsville got a chance.
Spencer County at John Hardin.
Spencer County.
Spencer County. Barron County at Meade. I'm gonna go with Barron County.
I'm not. I'm going with Meade.
I try to stay local as much as I can.
I want to. I am good friends with. He's been a mentor. He's coached when I was at Central. He was at Meade County. Mofield's been there forever. I got to watch them play Central, and truthfully, Meade County had a chance to win that game. It'll be a good football game. Neither one of them. I'm going to pick Meade County. Is it at Meade?
It's at Meade.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Meade County.
Greene County at Metcalf, which may be my pick. If I had a pick for game of the week, that'd be the game of the week.
Same for me. You know what? I think Greene will win, but with if the Dial kid wasn't hurt, I probably would pick Metcalf. But I'm going to tell you, LJ has those kids playing and believing that they can play. They played at Dare County, who's a good at Dare County team, to double overtime Friday night without Dial at quarterback. So don't be surprised to see if Metcalf wins it. But I just think Greene it's their year, and I think they'll get it done.
I'm gonna roll with Greene too.
Coach, what about you on Saturday?
Well, I have absolutely no idea about Murray. I called. Their coach said that they didn't have any film.
Right.
I called some guys that I know in Murray. They said their 7th grade is great. Their 8th grade is good. So I really don't know what to expect. But I do know that I've told my kids for the last 2 weeks that I don't care what they do, what they run. We're not going to change anything that we're doing.
That's what I like.
We're going to line up and run it at them like we have all year. But one of the things, one of my assistant coaches, Barrett Wright, we've been struggling on our front line.
Right.
So we did, the last 2 weeks, we've done a lot of sled work. We've done a lot of things to get the line ready. But what we did this week, it was his idea. He lined the twins, and we call him Idaho, Keaton Williams.
Yep.
We lined them up against our offensive line all week. And they did not take any breaks. They came as hard as they could. And yesterday, it took us a week and a half, but yesterday they finally gave the quarterback time to throw the ball with those 3 guys coming off the defensive line. And hats off to our offensive line. We've struggled all year, but I told them, if you can keep those 3 out of the backfield, there's nobody in the playoffs that will play that'll come at you as hard as they are.
Well, and it sounds like you guys are doing the right thing, because I've said this year, and I think I told you this last week. When you consistently, when you get into the playoffs, the teams that win is not the teams that necessarily with the most athletes. It's the teams that can win it up front, and that's even in Little League. I'm sorry, yes, speed does help, but when you can dominate up front, and you can play up front, that takes away speed. It equalizes the speed, is what I'm trying to say. So if you can get your guys playing up front like you're talking about doing, hey, I think you guys will be fine on Saturday.
I think so. Like I said last week, they're making it a big community event. They're tailgating starting at about 11 o'clock. So the atmosphere will definitely be right.
Right.
We're just going to go and we're not going to do anything fancy. We don't do anything fancy. We just play. Okay. Other kids have stepped up. But the thing that I'm most, that impresses me the most is the leadership from the non-leaders per se. These kids see that this is an opportunity that they're never going to get again.
Absolutely.
And they are really starting to believe themselves that they can make it, a deep run in the playoffs. And like I tell them every day, anything can happen. One play can change the one play can change the course of the game.
Well, that's true. We talked about. I told you last Monday, I put literally five plays up on the projector in the auditorium there, and I told our varsity guys, watch these 5 plays. And if you play and make some things go our way, and those 5 plays, we have a chance to beat a Taylor County at the end of the game, or you know what I'm saying, or we don't. We have a chance to beat a Dare County, and that's the difference in football. And that's truthfully Friday night. That's what impressed me about our kids more than anything, because I've been begging all year long, who's going to stand up and make those plays? And we had kids make up. Jackson Shoulders when they were on their side I think they were on their 30. He made an interception to give us the ball back, and we went back to grind the ball and scored. Chandler Hudgens had an interception. 4th down, 1st down and 1 from the goal line. Hart County teams in the past that I've been part of
would have gave up.
Just gave up.
Yep.
And we made them earn it, and they didn't get it. So that tells me right there what you're talking about, the same thing. My guys are starting to see it, and as a coach, you're always trying to keep moving forward, and that's what happened to us this week. Of course, we got community high school tonight. We're not playing tomorrow. They called and they have a 4-day weekend. They're out of Unionville, Tennessee. Didn't know much about them. He called and said, "Hey, do you want to play football?" And I said, "Yeah, let's try it." So we're calling the border of I-65, and they're on the way up here. They're on the way up here, and we're going to see. Hey, look, they're 2-4, I think, or 2-5, but they got some skilled kids. They got some kids that can play. They got 2 or 3 kids that'll probably be as good, if not better, than some of the skill I have. So. We'll see. I think it'll be a good football game. If you're not doing anything on Thursday night, come out there and support our guys. And like I said before, our motto right now is we got to keep touching every rung, and this is another rung on the ladder we got to do to get through what we need to get where we need to be. So.
And Coach, I want to take a minute. I've contemplated all week. I found out over the weekend that they have the regional players of the year in middle school, and there was a mishap somewhere, miscommunication. I don't know if it was on our end or where, but I never received the email and I wasn't knowledgeable to know that we had to be on the listserv to get our kids on the ballot. But that's neither here nor there. So I didn't get to put any of my kids on the ballot for the regional player of the year. But I just wanted to let everybody know that's watching and listening that we have 2 twins, Tyson and Kenyon Martin, who both have over 1,000 yards rushing, and I don't know the touchdowns. 2 of the best 8th graders in the state of Kentucky, and I'm sure if we go to some of the national combines, they'd be ranked nationally. Right. Jalen Crane, our quarterback, has 8 interceptions, 4 pick sixes. We've got a long list of kids that was very deserving to be on that list. And I want to publicly apologize to my kids because they deserve that. And, it's not going to determine if we win or lose during the playoffs, but I just wanted to acknowledge to everybody of how good these kids that we have are. And we definitely want to start looking for them in the future. But I felt so bad for that because these kids have worked so hard for these accolades all year.
Absolutely. And Trevin, I'm going to say this. I'm from E-Town. I came from Central Hardin. And, our kids always got coverage up there. They always got covered. They had the newspaper up there. There's Sporting Times up there, and Chuck Fikes and all those guys. And Chuck does a good job of trying to get down here every now and then. But I've always said since I've been here is there's some players in this area, and between Caverna and Hart, and you know, we're kind of stuck in the middle. Does that make sense? So when you offered to do this this live, I jumped on it, one, because I want to get my team and my guys out there. But what you're talking about is you know, we're stuck between a Glasgow and an E-Town, or E-Town and Bowling Green, and nobody really covers us. Our local paper does. What does that come out, once a week or something?
Once a week.
And you know, I think that's just a bunch of, and I'm not to take anything away, but it's whoever writes an article, they'll put it in there. I don't know how that works, but I know, you know, nobody's interviewing me about my kids all the time. So what you're saying, I do, and you want to put that out there because our kids deserve just as much as anybody else does.
Yep.
And I've always said that, and I don't know how to change it. I don't know how to fix it, other than me put myself out there and try and just what you just did there to promote my guys. And because I say this all the time, and I think you'll believe this, I don't owe anybody anything. I don't owe the parents anything.
Nope.
But these kids show up every day for me and work, so I owe them everything. So it's my job to promote them as the best that I can. So I get where you're coming from. And anytime something falls through the cracks, it's almost like, well, so hey, look, let's put it out there. These kids, what you guys have done and what those kids have done is it's not something that happens all the time around here, and they need to be recognized.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I appreciate it, and you know, if you guys aren't busy, you watching, come out. We'll play at 2:00 Saturday. Like I said, there's going to be free food. It's the atmosphere will be electric, I promise. You know, our fans, our middle school fans, really get involved in the games, and hopefully, you know, we can come out with the W and keep rolling.
There you go.
You know, they understand it's win or go home now.
That's right. New season.
It's a new season. We're 0-0, so.
Right. Hey, look, never been there before neither, so that's good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Got to start. But, Coach, good luck tonight.
Well, I appreciate
and,
it.
hopefully we'll get together again next Thursday, and we'll talk about your win and my win, hopefully.
Hey, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yep.